What's going on, everybody? It's Nick Payne with Facemask Fantasy, and as we move into redraft for 2022, we'll profile some players and how we feel about them ahead of the season. If there's any one player you want us to profile, let us know in the comment section, and we'll be sure to cover him. Up today, Atlanta Falcons rookie wide receiver Drake London. The 8th overall pick in the 2022 draft joins a Falcons offense in the middle of a transition period after longtime franchise quarterback Matt Ryan was traded to Indianapolis earlier this offseason. London has been a favorite of dynasty and draft pundits throughout the pre-draft process. But if you happen to hear this channel's thoughts on London, we haven't been very big fans. While he broke out early at USC, we expressed concerns about his athletic profile and lack of speed even for someone standing at 6'4". Atlanta clearly had no concerns about London, making him the first wide receiver off the board in this year's draft. With Calvin Ridley suspended for the 2022 season and Russell Gage signing with Tampa Bay, the Falcons probably needed a receiver more than any other team. Their selection of London obviously speaks volumes about how they feel about him. His draft capital and current lack of competition make London an appealing dynasty asset. But what do we make of his chances to have a fantasy impact for redraft leagues in 2022? The Falcons have a whopping 287 targets available from 2021. Third in the NFL. So there's plenty of work available, but we have to remember that with Matt Ryan, the Falcons were a layup for 500 pass attempts per season. Ryan had at least 529 pass attempts in 12 of his 14 seasons played, and he eclipsed 600 pass attempts in 7 of those seasons. In is Marcus Mariota, who figures to draw the Week 1 start for Atlanta this year, and he's never thrown the ball more than 450 times. This was earlier in his career, and he hasn't had the chance to be a starter for a few years. But this is a situation where the amount of vacated targets could be a bit deceiving, because it's unfair to expect the Falcons to throw the ball as much in 2022 as they have in the past. Still, there's not much in the way of proven pass-catching talent in this offense beyond second-year tight end Kyle Pitts and 31-year-old Swiss Army knife Cordarrelle Patterson. Whatever amount of pass attempts Atlanta finishes with, London should be able to accumulate something in the 100 target range for his rookie season. The problem, though, might be the quality of targets he is receiving. Mariota is a veteran at this point, but he's barely played since being benched for Ryan Tannehill in his final season with the Titans in 2019. Mariota's never thrown for even 3,500 yards in a season and has a career completion percentage of around 63%. The players who have excelled with Mariota have been his tight ends, when Delaney Walker strung together a few tight end 1 seasons. This trend naturally bodes well for Pitts, but Mariota's wide receivers have never enjoyed much fantasy success, not even his wide receiver 1. Corey Davis had the best finish for any such receiver, coming in as the wide receiver 28 in 2018. Despite all this, best ball drafters on Underdog Fantasy are currently drafting London around 69 overall, as the wide receiver 34 off the board. To me, this smells like drafting him at his ceiling this year, which is incredibly risky for a rookie. Yes, London is the most talented wide receiver on this Falcons roster, but I find myself tempering expectations given the current makeup of this offense. Mariota doesn't have the track record of supporting anything more than a high-end wide receiver 3 for fantasy, and if rookie Desmond Ridder eventually takes over, London's stock could take yet another hit. With players like Amon-Ra St. Brown, Elijah Moore, Antonio Gibson, Devontae Smith, Elijah Mitchell, Adam Thielen, and A.J. Dillon all being drafted in that same range, there's not too many outcomes where I see myself drafting Drake London in 2022 redraft. Drafting a rookie at his likely ceiling in what probably will be a bad offense isn't the approach I'm prepared to take. London's future should be chock full of opportunity, and he'll remain a strong dynasty asset regardless of how this season pans out. Make no mistake. But there's a lot of variables that I'm not crazy enough about, and so for that reason, I am fading London for 2022. I can certainly see myself taking the plunge in 2023 if his draft capital falls. That's a conversation that'll have to wait. That's a very quick breakdown and analysis of how I feel about Drake London for 2022 redraft leagues. What do you guys think? Put any thoughts you have in the comment section below, and we can have a conversation about this. We also host live streams on our channel each Tuesday and Thursday, all off season long, at 6 p.m. Eastern. Come hang out, come get any questions answered you may have, or feel free to bring up any general fantasy topics you wish to discuss. Till then, this is Nick with Facemask Fantasy. Don't forget to subscribe. Thanks for listening.